A woman named Tanya wakes up in a dark room, completely disoriented and terrified. She finds herself without any clothes, her body trembling in fear. As she moves her hand through the darkness, she accidentally touches something cold and realizes it's a corpse. Shocked and horrified, she screams and runs through the room, her heart pounding. In her panic, she suddenly notices 13 other people in the same room, all looking just as confused and scared as she is. One man rushes toward her and quickly puts a jacket over her shoulders to cover her. Among the group, Tanya sees another woman crying while two men hold her back. Still shaken, Tanya asks everyone what's happening. One of the players replies that they don't know either. Then, a large monitor lights up on the wall. The words on it read, "Congratulations. You have been selected. Prepare for the experience of a lifetime." Another line appears below. All players must follow the rules to avoid penalty. No one in the room understands what it means. Everyone looks around, frightened and speechless. A woman named Rothy, one of the contestants, takes Tanya by the hand and leads her to another room so she can change. She gives Tanya a uniform, explaining that she's the last contestant to join. When Tanya asks where they are, Rothy quietly warns her that asking questions isn't allowed. She tells Tanya to just change into the uniform. Some of the other contestants wear electric collars around their necks. In the restroom, she notices a sign on the wall. Players must keep their hands clean at all times. She also has to wear an electric collar, heavy and uncomfortable. Inside her uniform, she finds her own picture and a small tape recorder. When she presses play, a voice greets her. "Welcome, Tanya. You are player 14, the last and most important contestant in the game. Do not share any secrets with others. The game will begin soon. And remember, don't always believe what you see. Only those without collars can break the rules." Terrified and confused, Tanya washes her hands carefully, trying to follow the rules exactly. But as she steps out, chaos has already erupted among the others. Two men are arguing and fighting while the rest try to separate them. Suddenly, one desperate player sprints toward a forbidden zone, ignoring everyone's warnings to stop. In an instant, his electric collar activates, electrocuting him to death right before their eyes. The horrific sight freezes everyone in terror. Contestant Lee punches Contestant 6, blaming him for provoking the man. Tanya, still shaking, asks if anyone knows what's going on, but no one answers. Two other contestants, number 8 and number 10, approach Tanya to comfort her, noticing how frightened she looks. Tanya admits she doesn't remember how she ended up here. Contestant 10 tells her none of them do. They just woke up here and only know each other by their numbers, not names. Contestant 5, whose name is Harry, asks about her accent and her name. When she tells him, Contestant 10 smiles and says it's beautiful. Harry begins asking her personal questions, making her uncomfortable, until Contestant 8, Lee, steps in and tells him to stop. Lee warns Tanya that she'll have to get used to this kind of behavior here. While looking around, Tanya notices a box labeled Pieces. Curious, she asks what's inside. Contestants 8 and 10 glance at each other nervously and tell her to stay away from it, saying there's nothing in there she needs to know. Contestant 10 then asks if she found anything in her uniform. Tanya shows him the pictures, and he quickly rushes off to check something. Lee introduces himself properly and tells Tanya that if she ever needs help, she can come to him. Later, Harry approaches Lee and asks whether they can trust Tanya. Lee replies that she's hard to read and tells him to mind his own business. Meanwhile, Contestant 1, named Charlie, watches everyone quietly from a corner, saying nothing. Later, while Lee is sitting alone, he finds a piece of paper in his pocket. He doesn't remember putting it there. The note reads, "Piece the pieces. Piece the pieces." There's also something else attached, but Lee hides it quickly before anyone can see. The host's voice echoes through the room again. Players are not allowed to adjust their collars. Frustration spreads among the group. They feel trapped and powerless, but can't do anything about it. Tanya approaches Contestant 11, a woman named Austin, trying to start a conversation, but Austin seems annoyed and uninterested. She plays with a lighter, and when Tanya asks where she got it, Austin replies that she just found it lying around. Austin's rude attitude toward both Rothy and Tanya shocks her. When Tanya asks why she's acting that way, Austin says she wants honesty, believing everyone here must have done something wrong in their past. She doesn't want anyone pretending to be innocent. Soon after, the host's voice returns. The game will begin in 1 hour. The announcement sends panic through the contestants. 14 strangers, trapped in an unknown place, bound by strange rules and deadly collars, each wondering what kind of game they've been chosen for and who will survive it. Meanwhile, Contestant 11 stands in the bathroom. She reaches for a tissue and notices a folded paper beside it. When she opens it, the note reads, "Player 5 does not tell the truth." Her eyes widen in shock. She stares at the message, confused and terrified. Then, the host's voice echoes again. The game will begin in 5 minutes. Suddenly, the lights go out. In the darkness, a screen flickers to life. The host's face appears, speaking in a calm but chilling tone. Hello, players. You must obey the rules, or you will face the penalty. Each of you has been carefully selected to play the game of a lifetime. There will be only one winner, and the prize will be life itself. Everyone stares in disbelief as he continues. To survive, remember this, trust no one. Either you kill, or you will be killed. Good luck. The screen fades to black, and the lights return, leaving the players frozen in fear. The group begins to argue, questioning what they're supposed to do. Lee calms them down and suggests they start by getting to know each other. Contestant 3 introduces herself as a schoolteacher who teaches 6th grade English. Another player says she works in sales. Contestant 10 explains that he's a recovering alcoholic who now does social work. Tanya says she's a psychology student, her parents recently divorced, and she's close to her mother. Everyone takes turns introducing themselves, trying to understand who they're trapped with. Suddenly, the lights go out again, sending them into panic. Lee urges everyone to stay calm and wait. Then, a loud noise echoes through the room, followed by a scream, then silence. When the lights return, one player is missing. Another contestant finds a note on the floor. It reads, "Patience." Moments later, a horrifying scream comes from the bathroom. They rush in and find contestant 11's body, lifeless and cold. The sight terrifies everyone. Contestant 6 panics and runs toward the box marked pieces. Lee shouts for him to stop, but 6 ignores him. He opens the box and finds a gun inside. Trembling, he points it at Lee and Contestant 10. Contestant 10 pleads, "We have to stay together. Don't make things worse." Lee tells him to check the bullets. When 6 opens the gun, he realizes it's empty. There are no bullets. Fear and confusion spread among the group as they stand near the body of their fallen teammate, wondering what will happen next. Then, another player discovers a note hidden in a drawer. It says, "Hint 14 is the key." Everyone looks at Tanya. She's Contestant 14. Contestant 3 becomes hysterical, crying and screaming uncontrollably. Contestant 10 tries to calm her, but nothing helps. Tanya sits alone, thinking about the 2 who have already died, Player 2, and now Player 11. Her body trembles with fear. Rothi approaches her, gently telling her to stay strong. Suddenly, the lights go out once again, and another scream echoes through the darkness. When the lights return, another person is dead. Panic spreads. One of the players starts blaming others for murder and, in a rage, smashes one of the cameras. Later, Harry whispers something to a nearby player, though no one hears what he says. While exploring, the group finds a mirrored cabinet. Player 13 uses a hammer to break it open. Inside, they discover a black box labeled cereal. The box contains some metallic flakes and a sealed piece of paper. When they open it, the note reads, "Hint, what is your favorite type of cereal?" In this game, there are 3, 1 rapist, 1 pedophile, and 1 killer. Find the killer, and you'll find a reason. Everyone stands in stunned silence, horrified by what they just read. Lee gathers everyone again and begins asking questions. He even wakes Contestant 6, who's been sitting in shock. Harry argues with Lee, accusing him of hiding something. The group realizes that among them are 1 murderer, 1 rapist, and 1 pedophile, and to survive, they must find the killer. Then, the host's voice echoes again. You have 1 minute before the next elimination. He gives a choice to Contestant 10. You can save your child's life, but only if you kill someone else. Contestant 10 begins to shake. Tears roll down his face as he raises the gun and points it at Contestant 3, but he can't do it. Crying uncontrollably, he turns the gun toward himself and pulls the trigger, ending his own life. Tanya, holding back tears, notices something. Among the scattered pieces on the floor, she begins to assemble a small key. Slowly, she realizes that these pieces were clues all along. As the deadly game continues, more players die one by one. The host calls these killings curfews. Tanya discovers that the key she built can unlock one of the electric collars. Hope flickers for a moment. Suddenly, a new player appears, a man named Robert Tanner. He looks confused and terrified, begging the others for help. Before they can question him, the lights go out again. When they come back on, the host's voice echoes once more. Congratulations, players. You've reached the final round. Only a few remain. Contestant 6 and Contestant 8, Lee, start arguing. Their fight turns violent when 6 grabs the gun and points it at Lee. They struggle, and in the chaos, one of them is killed. Harry watches with a twisted smile, enjoying the scene. Then he turns his attention toward Tanya, trying to assault her. She fights back and runs from him. Lee, still alive, points the gun at Harry, and in the struggle, both of them end up dead. The lights flicker again. When they return, Tanya is standing alone, her face calm, her lips curling into a cold smile as she stares at the dead bodies around her. Then, the door slowly opens. Tanya steps out into a bright hallway where another person, her colleague, is waiting. Without a word, Tanya walks beside them, revealing the shocking truth. She was part of the organization running this deadly game, all along. So that's it. Hope you enjoy the story. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more videos.